So after a little bit of a Bitcoin dominance rally, Crocoin is regaining its ground a little bit on Bitcoin. But we've got headlines coming out in the crypto publications out there like this. Crypto.com's Cronos erases the presidential pump gains. Community questions the demand of the token. The subheadline reading here: since the peak of the president-driven rally, Cronos has lost more than $6 billion, or nearly 50% of its market cap. So what has happened here for Cronos? Well, I want to talk a little bit about it in this video and why we're actually seeing things come up just a little bit right now, and what I see ahead. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Crypto Kip, and on this channel, I have been talking about a potential dip for Bitcoin, looking at some levels. We're seeing a slight bounce right now, but we are not out of the woods yet for Bitcoin. And when it comes to CRO, we are seeing a little bit of a relief, not on the weekly time frame, but if you look on the daily time frame, this is our biggest green candle, I guess, since September 9th, and we are not out of the woods yet. There is an hour left on this candle. And we're seeing a little relief, which is good. But unfortunately, what we need to see for a move back above 20 cents in my mind is this daily candle to close back above this trend line, because it does look like, in fact, this is broken below daily candle close. Now this other daily candle closes in an hour, and we have rejected breaking back above this green trend line, which means we could be coming down to 16 cents or maybe even lower to 10 cents. And guys, I am a bull, okay, when it comes to altcoins and when it comes to CRO, especially right now. I do think a bear market is coming, but I think there's going to be a big pump yet ahead for Ethereum, Solana, CRO, and we're seeing a little bit of a relief bounce for all these right now. And we're seeing Bitcoin dominance come back down a little bit. Actually, where's my Bitcoin dominance chart? There it is. Bitcoin dominance after spiking is coming back down a little bit, giving a little excitement for altcoins. Now, if you want Crocoin to rally, you're really going to want to see Bitcoin come back and have a little bit of a pump here. You're really going to want to see Bitcoin continue to the upside, because if Bitcoin is falling, then unfortunately, you're going to have a really hard time seeing Crocoin continue to hold or go up while Bitcoin is falling. So again, you're rooting for Bitcoin to climb here. And sure, maybe Bitcoin dominance climbs as well. But for the US dollar value of CRO, I really do believe that it's important that the broader market finds strength right now. So what's up with this headline here? Let's read into it a little bit. Cronos erases the president gains from the partnership, the marketing partnership between the president's crypto company and Cronos. That is what drove this up. And as we found a level of resistance at 37 cents for CRO, I was not surprised to see this dip. So, to have a headline about this is shocking to me. This isn't a shocking headline, but it's shocking that somebody would write this headline. And it just tells me that people are really out there just to, get all excited about a crash in a coin. Everybody likes to write an article, or Liberty Financial's down 50% from its high, but they're still not saying it's at a $2 billion market cap today. Cronos has lost more than $6 billion, or nearly 50% of its market cap, but it's still at like a $4 or $6 billion market cap. Actually, let's look exactly where it's at. Let's be exact here. Still at a $6.7 billion market cap. And before this presidential pump, the Trump pump, Cronos was lower than this. So we're still higher than we were before that news. And yes, we could slip down lower, but the whole market is slipping right now. And Bitcoin is not at its highs either. So, I just think it's an unfair headline to put out there. As I see all this volatility play out in the crypto space, what I like to do is trade. I trade on Bit10X. I trade on Blowfin a lot. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus on Blowfin if you haven't signed up already, and up to a $100,000 deposit bonus over on Bit10X. I do trade CRO a little bit. I like to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. CRO has been historically more of a holding portfolio for me. But as I saw this move happening and this presidential partnership occur for CRO, and I saw the price of CRO blast up to 37 cents, I could not help myself but shuffle some off the table because I felt like there was going to be an accumulation mode lower. And this is something that I had discussed on the channel. I've been talking about it over the entirety of this move. In fact, as we were moving up, I was talking about how we would probably come back down, and I talked about 20 cents. So, I am not a financial advisor, certainly not here to give financial advice, but I report on the crypto news as I see it day in, day out in this market. And the thing that I've learned in watching crypto news play out is buy the rumor, sell the news, events are real. And if there's no rumor leading up to an exciting news story and it just comes out of nowhere, sometimes that causes a pump that lasts for 24, 48 hours, sometimes a little bit longer. Looking at this pump, the biggest part of this pump lasted for 3 days, and then we've steadily bled off for what? The last 28 days. This is just the way that these markets work sometimes, folks, and I think everybody needs to be aware of that. When it comes to CRO, I am quite bullish. I am cautiously optimistic that, I'm optimistic that there's a bull market still ahead for altcoins. I think Q4 will have a tremendous rally due to the historic data that suggests, Q4 is a great time for crypto. But I'm cautious because we could still slip lower for Bitcoin. And again, if Bitcoin slips lower, CRO will probably fall a little bit more too. And when it really comes to CRO, I think you need to keep an eye on ETH. And so just taking a peek at ETH for a second, I have this red circle that is drawn here talking about a potential fall back to $4,000. And this weekly candle closes in 2 days and 2 hours. And it is close to closing exactly at my trend line at 4,000. I said I could wiggle a little lower, possibly this trend line, and it did. It's so spot on that it's crazy. So what else do we need to see? And what else am I thinking about Ethereum? Well, if we truly do hold and find a bounce at this $4,000 price level, well, what I'd be looking for is a bullish retest, and hopefully Bitcoin can rebound there. And I'd look for a breakout to new all-time highs in Q4. Now, if we break a little bit lower, it's possible we could come down to $2,700 again. It's possible before we resume this pump. But I do think for altcoin season to occur, you need to see Ethereum break through highs. And so be patient with these levels. I've still got cash on the sidelines. I'm looking at this market for buy the dip opportunities. I still kind of think there might be more buy the dip opportunities, possibly even for CRO. So I think that this article is a little funny to me because, I've been talking about this dip coming for CRO. It's not a surprise to me. And that's why I like to trade these markets, because sometimes I'm pretty decent at seeing what's coming. And I am not giving you guys financial advice. You got to continue to do your own due diligence in these markets. But I like to trade, and these are some of the platforms I use. So in the description of this video, take advantage of those sign-up bonuses if you haven't done so already. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. DCA, hold on, my friends. This is the Crypto Report. I am Crypto Kip. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Until next time, y'all. Peace.